Welcome back to the Football Terrace. Done deals, imminent deals, additional bids, and much, much more for you. Updates from Fabrizio Romano on two huge deals in the Premier League. David Ornstein, the Evening Standard, and much more. Download the OneFootball app right now, though. The best one-stop shop for all, absolutely all, your transfer news, live scores, stats, and much, much more. It's going to be a big show. Get your comments in below as well. Let's do this, people. Let's go. Kovacic to Manchester City is absolutely imminent, according to Fabrizio Romano. The story here on OneFootball says, as reported by Sky Germany, Manchester City are expected to announce the signing of Chelsea midfielder Mateo Kovacic imminently. The Croatian joined Chelsea in 2018. Will reportedly cost City around 30 million euros, including bonuses. A final negotiation between the two clubs is ongoing before the announcement is expected, which has also been confirmed now by Fabrizio Romano himself. This deal has been on the cards to completion for a long time. It's a little bit of a left field move in many Man City fans' eyes, but Kovacic wants it. He wants to go and join the best team in the world, the treble winners. We're still none the wiser about the movements of Ilkay Gundogan and Bernardo Silva. A lot of people have thought that Kovacic was the replacement for Ilkay Gundogan, but it doesn't appear now that's true. It now is seen as this guy's coming in maybe as the replacement for Calvin Phillips, and whether or not they bid for Declan Rice is more linked to Ilkay Gundogan. But this is a big deal for Manchester City. I think in terms of it's better strength in depth than Calvin Phillips because of his injury problems, and he never really fit in. And a lot of players get a second season at City, but it appears Phillips isn't going to be one of those individuals. And once City get this done, what Fabrizio Romano has also confirmed is that City plan to then go and sign Gvardiol after wrapping up this deal. And a quote here from the OneFootball website, they state that Man City are planning a mega money swoop for the RB Leipzig defender Josko Gvardiol, according to Fabrizio Romano. The Premier League champions are currently locked in negotiations with Chelsea over a deal for Mateo Kovacic, who has already agreed personal terms with the citizens. Man City had tabled a £25 million bid for the Croatian international, who has 1 year remaining on his contract. When the Kovacic deal is finished, Romano insists that the citizens will throw their weight at signing his countryman and international teammate Gvardiol from the Pokal winners Leipzig. The Italian transfer expert reported last week that City considered Gvardiol a top target and have been hot on his trail since the stellar performance at the World Cup in 2022. City are now advanced in talks with the highly rated defender and are close to reaching an agreement on personal terms. So as put there, advanced, OneFootball confirming its advance, back off of what Fabrizio Romano has said and their communications with him as well. And it just goes to show that time doesn't stand still. City always looking to improve. Those deals are moving ever, ever closer indeed. But as ever, I want your opinions, people. How much better do these signings make Man City? Does Gvardiol walk straight into the first team? Or is this about him competing? Will we see John Stones persist in a midfield role? Is that what this is freeing up in the middle? Or is this just a case of strengthening the squad? We saw Lee Gunner earlier on today tell us that the big clubs shouldn't sign backup players. It should be new first-team players only and work down from that position. I don't think it's as black and white and as simple as my old mate. He's a reductionist, but I don't think it's as simple as that. These are two brilliant signings at the different ends of their careers that will offer something different to this Manchester City team, which is key. Difference is key to keep your opponents guessing as they try to retain their Champions League title and do a four-peat. The first ever Premier League club to do it. So brilliant signings. I want your thoughts and feelings below. Now, we saw today the news that came out that suggested that, told us that the bid for Declan Rice has been rejected. As we told you on the Football Terrace, and we very rarely do this, that we say we have news for you. I spoke to some very well-connected people at West Ham who basically told me 2 days ago the second bid had already been made and rejected. A third bid was on its way. £100 million bid is being put together. This article here on One Football states that the Gunners saw an initial offer of 80 million rejected last week and a second offer of 90 million dismissed today. Rice is Arsenal's priority summer signing and are expected to return with an improved offer as they look to secure the midfielder's signature quickly. West Ham have set an asking price of 100 million for their captain and are prepared to stand firm with Man City weighing up a rival offer. Rice has rejected a £200,000 a week offer to stay at the East London club, and with 2 years left on his contract, the club know this is their last chance to earn big on the player. There's Arsenal also linked with moves for Lavia and retain interest in Moises Caicedo and hope to land the Chelsea forward Kai Havertz for around £60 million. They then go on to state, and remember, you can download this and read all these articles yourself free of charge. Use the QR code on the screen. They then go on to state that Arsenal will look to increase their initial offer to between 80 to 85 million pounds as a base. So between 80 to 85 million pounds as a base, with an additional 15 to 20 million as add-ons. It's not yet known whether it'll be 100 million flat or whether they'll go to 105 towards 110 million pounds for Declan Rice. Nobody has that information as of right now, but a third bid is being prepared imminently. Fabrizio Romano has also spoke about this evening, not in as much detail. He hasn't been as direct as that, but he just said the structure of the payment will be crucial to get Declan Rice done. Arsenal have been informed of that. West Ham also wants easy add-ons and won't accept structure with difficult ones. So, for instance, Ballon d'Or winning, Champions League winning, maybe even Premier League winning add-ons. They want it to be based on performances. They want it to be based on appearances. They want it to be based on milestones that are easier to achieve. So they're more likely to get their add-ons, which I think is very, very fair indeed when it comes to this situation. But how much do you think is fair and how much do you think will be accepted? They may be different amounts you put in the comment section below, but I want to understand and ascertain what you think and feel. Now, staying with Arsenal, it's been discussed lots recently, and this evening, there's been a lot of updates around Thomas Partey. Now, this here says that Arsenal are working hard to offload Thomas Partey this summer, and interest from clubs in Saudi Arabia is growing. The Gunners are working with the players' representation to drum up interest from potential suitors, but only Saudi-based clubs have shown interest thus far. And I think what's really interesting, I've seen a lot of Gooners push back and say we'll be weaker. How can Lavia and Rice and Havertz be the replacement? There's clearly more at play here than meets the eye. Maybe we'll never find out the reasons. Maybe it comes out in a book in 10, 15, 20 years' time, and we look back and go, that makes a lot more sense now as to why Thomas Partey left the football club. I still think, in my heart of hearts, up until it was announced he might go, I thought to myself, he'll definitely be part of the team next year. But clearly Arteta has seen something he's not happy with. And of course, Arteta has signed some duds since he's been at the clubs. Some of the younger players and some of the free transfers didn't work. Yes, he signed some brilliant players. But the one thing about Arteta, I feel that he's been quite ruthless with dead wood at the football club or players that he's had a problem with. Who knows what went on behind the scenes? Who knows what was said between him and the management, the party and the management staff? And I'm speculating here, but I'm throwing this all out to try and play both sides, to sit there and say nobody knows the real reason why, so judging it is difficult. All you can really judge it on from an Arsenal's point of view is, do you improve as a team next year? Can you go one step further? But Arsenal are the ones here, according to One Football, courtesy of information from The Athletic, they are working with the representations to get him out. So this is an active move by Arsenal to push him out the football club. So I want to get your take on that right now. And finally, there has been a done deal at Manchester United today, and that is Zidane Iqbal to leave the club to join FC Utrecht, which I'm a little disappointed about. I'm not going to lie to you. I've seen this kid play on a handful of occasions. I don't watch the academy anymore. No self-respecting Man United fan would. Why would you pay more money into the football club and give more money to the Glazers? And I mean that with respect to our academy players, because when I was a season ticket holder, I went to games. And if I couldn't go to games, I watched every match. I don't know for how many years on MUTV, but of course, as a respectable Man United fan, we cancelled that and stopped putting money directly into the club. But he's leaving for a deal of £1 million. There is reportedly a really good, a very cheap buyback clause for Man United. We get first refusals should he go up to another level and we want him back. But I am a little bit disappointed that he never got a first team opportunity to try and shine and demonstrate what he was about. So I am disappointed by that. There's no doubt about it. He impressed on the preseason tour last year in Thailand and in Australia, and I wanted him to be given that opportunity. But as I've stated, we've got a manager at the club who I trust. We have a manager who is from a background that's renowned for developing youth and young players. So I'm going to trust his decision making when it comes to this. I am going to trust it. I am going to believe in it and kind of see how this progresses. I remember when we lost Angel Gomez and so many Man United fans were angry about it. What I do find strange is more Man United fans are angry about him leaving than were happy about Rashford staying at the club and getting a new deal. A little weird to me, considering this guy's never played for the first team. So we actually don't know how good he would be. But look, I trust the manager. I do want to get your take and thoughts and feelings on it. That is a done deal that's on this show. A roundup before we leave from One Football. Kovacic imminent in his move to Manchester City. Then the deal for Gvardiol will begin as Guardiola wants to make him a superstar at Manchester City. The third bid for Rice is on the horizon, and many believe this will be the one to get the total agreement with West Ham to complete the deal for Rice when he returns from holiday. Thomas Partey's exit from Arsenal is something that is looking very likely, with Arsenal pushing for that move as well. And of course, we updated you on today. Iqbal leaving Manchester United. Download the One Football app before you go. Make sure you're subscribing. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I'll see you all again very, very soon. Peace.